United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has pressed the international community to provide more aid to help fight Ebola. He says the outbreak, along with Iraq's unraveling security situation, is among the key emergencies plaguing the world today. CCTV's Liling Tan joins us from UN headquarters in New York. Liling, what did he have to say, Ban Ki-moon, about Ebola?
Yes, Asiya, one thing that came out of this press briefing this session was the appointment of Dr. David Nabarro as the UN Ebola envoy. Now, more specifically, that is the senior UN system coordinator for Ebola. Now, we have heard this name before. David Nabarro was previously the Secretary General's bird flu expert. And in his new capacity as the Ebola expert, the Ebola envoy, he will be working closely with the World Health Organization, specifically the Director General, Margaret Cho, to combat the outbreak. Now, the Secretary General also highlighted the need to address the severe lack of capacity of the countries most severely affected by Ebola. You mentioned Guinea, Liberia, as well as Sierra Leone. These countries have only just recently returned to political stability after years of conflict that have left their healthcare system in shambles. And the Secretary General said that more assistance is needed from the international community by way of medical supplies, doctors, nurses, medical equipment, as well as protective gear. And he said that all hands need to be on deck. And he also stressed the need to avoid panic and fear, saying that Ebola can be prevented. It has been brought under control before, and this needs to be communicated to the public. RCA?
Liling, what about the crisis in Iraq? What did Ban Ki-moon say about the situation there?
Yes, this was one of the key priorities the UN has topping its agenda. And on Iraq, one of the key areas of focus, of course, is the response to the need to help the Yazidis still trapped in the Mount Sinjar area. Now, we know some of them have been rescued already by U.S. forces and Kurdish fighters, but others remain. And UN personnel are on the ground providing humanitarian aid in the form of food and water. But more needs to be done, and Ban has called for further international assistance. He also condemned in the strongest terms the actions of the Islamic State militant group, their summary executions, the forcing of boys into fighting, and the abduction of girls and trafficking of girls as sex slaves. Here's what he said.
The so-called Islamic State, IS, is a threat to Iraq, Syria, and the region. I'm profoundly dismayed by its barbaric acts, including accounts of summary executions, boys forcibly taken from their homes to fight, girls abducted or trafficked as sex slaves.
And still a long-term solution is needed, and to that end, the root causes need to be examined, and the UN will be further looking into this. RCA?
All right, thank you so much, Liling Tan at the United Nations.